Everyone, it's lovely to see lots of you in church this evening. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Welcome, well, huge welcome to our medium in church this evening, Lloyd Packham. Welcome, Lloyd. Thank you thank you for standing in on Saturday last week. I know I've said it a million times, but honestly, it was amazing that you did that for us. So it's lovely to have you in tonight as well. And welcome also to Ray Prendergast, our medium online, who will take over with Rob a little bit later on. I hope you're well, Ray, and have a lovely evening. Thank you all for joining us. So I will hand this part over to Lloyd to open the service in prayer. So if you just go into that lovely quiet space within. And then when Lloyd has finished the prayer, we will all say the Lord's Prayer together. Thank you. May I just ask to click that on there, Lloyd? Thank you very much.
Thank you. If you just come all together with me in prayer, if you just close your eyes, just go into that moment of stillness, that silence, that peace. Dear Heavenly Father, divine and most gracious Spirit, Father, as we come together this evening in your divine love and union, I ask that the two worlds unite and come together as one. I ask for those dear loved ones to step forward to show that life is forever eternal, that life does go on beyond the physical death. And I ask that those dear loved ones give us that upliftment that we will require this evening to help us throughout the coming weeks ahead. Amen.
Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Lovely, thanks, Lloyd. I'm just going to nick that back from you. Thank you. Cheers. Right, okay, so this is the bit where I ask you all to work with me then, because we are going to send out that loving healing energy, and just know that you are absolutely as capable of sending healing and positive energy as much as anyone who's been trained to give healing. Healing and love is just a vibration energy that can reach wherever it is that you're sending it. So we are absolutely all capable of doing that. So if there's anyone watching online that would like to just add some names into the boxes there, I will add those names on at the end. And if all of you in church and watching online actually, just take a nice deep breath. Just try to clear your minds of any stresses that you might have going on in there. Focus on love, focus on peace. And as we do that, that energy will start to build huge vibration of healing energy. So what I'll do is I'll start by reading the names that are in our healing book here in church, and then also the ones that are added online in the comments section there. And then we'll have a healing prayer, and then we'll have a minute where we send that energy out. Just imagine your loved ones in that time. Imagine your loved ones with that beautiful golden healing light around them. So tonight we ask for healing for Rachel Cooper, Star and Harry, Darren, Claire, Derrin, Talia, Andrea, Tanya, Linda, Anne, Lorraine, Sean, Sonia, Billy, Kathleen, Dennis, Linda Weeks, Alison Lay, Anne Grove, Kelly, Annabelle and Bobby, Katie, Hayden, Alfie, Harry, Bruce and Purdy, Billy, Martin, Chris, June, Peggy, John, Shirley, Eve, Peter, Mark, Dennis, Charlie, Joan, Heather, Veronica, Cyril, Terry, Colin, Janice, Dennis, Glenn, Susan and Donna, Nicola Girelli, Sue Allery, Maggie, Dougie, John S, Jill S, who's recently passed to spirit, David, Jill, Sonic the Bird, Jenny W, Hazel, Lisa's friends and family, Tilly, Nas, Karen, Jeffrey, Victoria, and Karen's 9 cats. So please join with me in healing prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I ask you to surround each and every one of us as we gather here tonight in church and online. Help us to connect with that beautiful Christ light that sits within each of us, and help us to shine it out into the world. As we send healing directly from our hearts, we ask tonight, loving Father, that you join with us. Help us to strengthen that healing energy. We ask it to surround all of those that we've just named and those that we think of privately in our minds now. And we ask, as always, that you surround everybody named and those we're thinking about with your healing love, your light, whatever their need may be, we ask that it helps them. We pray for healing for all those who are suffering and in need, all those affected by conflict and war. We ask too to surround our animal kingdom, the world of nature, Mother Earth, so that they can thrive. And we pray for people and countries to unite in love and in peace. And as always, loving Father, please bless all those joining in this prayer tonight. We ask that they too receive. We ask all of this in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
So just continue to sit in that silence and send that loving, full and healing energy out. This will be broken by the hymn, Gracious Spirit. It is in the front of your hymn books. Thank you. realize and know. Lead them to thy heavenly kingdom. Save me by thy soul. Coming from the near us. Wonderful, thank you everyone. Extra special thank you to Toby, Tommy and Jasmine as well. Jill's grandchildren sat there in church. I'm sure they're really embarrassed now. But I see that you're getting involved and you're sending that healing out. These are our next generation of light workers. So it's lovely to see you all taking part and sending that healing out. I'm sure Nanny tells you how important it is. Thank you. Right, okay, so I will now hand the buck over to Peter for this evening's Bible reading. Thank you, Peter. I'm going to look you up first.
It's the case says the sound not working.
It's for Brenda. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Evening all.
Evening.
I hope you've all welcomed your angels here. They love to hear from you. And welcome to those online. Excuse me. The reading tonight is Matthew chapter 6, and it's on prayer. Last week's reading was St. John chapter 4. Jesus talks to the Samaritan woman and opened up the need for prayer. God will and does supply everything we need, and as often said, is in abundance. Much comes to us, fortunately, by God's wisdom and forethought, but there are many occasions when we need to ask for help or for special blessings. Jesus' disciples recognized the importance of prayer and asked Jesus to teach them, and he taught them the prayer that we use today. When praying, we are receiving a covenant with God. When we ask, "Give us each day our daily bread," it refers to all our needs. God always keeps his part completely and asks us to follow his commandments to him and our neighbours. But we have a long history of failures to keep our promises. When you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray to your Father who is unseen. I take this to go into your quiet mind, the temple within us, connected with the Father through Spirit. Covered last week in St. John's chapter 4, worshippers must worship in spirit and in truth. The woman was asking to be given the living water. When we ask in prayer, it should always be in spirit and in truth. God also always receives our prayers and gives what we need, which is always greater than what we think we need. The following points by an unknown author cover the point better than I. I asked for strength. I asked for strength, and God gave me difficulties to make me strong. I asked for wisdom, and God gave me problems to solve. I asked for prosperity, and God gave me a brain and hands to work with. I asked for courage, and God gave me dangers to overcome. I asked for love, and God gave me troubled people to help. I asked for favours, and God gave me opportunities. I received nothing I wanted, but everything that I needed. God supplies the tools to do the job. Give a man a fish and he will be hungry again. Teach a man to fish and he will feed himself. Our prayer we use each Sunday in our Christian Spiritualist Church is the one taught to the disciples and is also in Luke chapter 11. Jesus' teaching on prayer and is well used throughout the world. Jesus also follows his own teaching on prayer. In Mark 1, Jesus prays in a solitary place, very early in the morning, while it is still dark. Jesus got up, left the house and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. It is said, a covenant or agreement with God every time we pray. We know it so well, we can almost recite it on autopilot, which begs the question, how aware are we of the agreement we are making with God each time we recite the prayer? It might help if we were mentally aware of how often we have broken our promise when saying our prayers. How well do we meet the God's commandments? Tonight's reading is from Matthew chapter 6 on prayer. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they like to pray standing up in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. Finally, in prayer, knock and the door will be open to you. Seek and you will find. Ask in my name and it will be given to you. This is a spiritual truth. God bless and thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And a big goodbye from all of us in church. And we hand over to Rob and Ray for the rest of your service online. Good night and God bless.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. If you'd like to join me in prayer now, because this is the time that we choose to move away from the material and link in with the spiritual. So if you would ask all your loved ones to come close, to come near to you, to give you that feeling of love and upliftment. So that'll be mums, dads, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, in-laws, outlaws, the people you couldn't stand the sight of on the earth plane. Just send out a thought of love to them. And as you make your invitations, I now make my invitations. I ask that my guides, helpers and workers draw close. And I know that the veil that separates the two worlds will be drawn back, allowing messages of love and upliftment. But just before we go into that time, friends, make this the time that we ask for healing, because so much of the time we spend worrying and caring about others. We never, ever take that time with ourselves. So please just ask for healing. And the way I look at it is, it's not selfish to ask for healing. The way I look at it is, if you feel good, people around you feel good, and people around them feel good. So now all the invitations have been made. I'll leave this service in thy loving tender care, knowing whatever be said will be done in love, truth and honesty. Amen. Okay, good evening, everybody. I'd just like to do a little talk before we go into the clairvoyance. Oh, and just before we do go in, good evening, everybody. God bless you, friends. I see the names have put there. Hello, Ray, and just ditto hello. I'm not really sure how to use the chat thing, but take it from me, it's hello, everybody. But what springs to mind there is the words, is a song that very much springs to mind. And that's when we walk through a storm, hold your head up high. and don't be afraid of the dark. And at the end of the at the end of these, I've I lost that a bit, but basically at the end there's a golden cloud. And I often wonder to myself when they say that when you're in a storm, hold your head up high. Sometimes, friends, it's very difficult, isn't it? It's very difficult to hold our head up high because we feel vulnerable, we feel emotional. Some people feel that they can't go on, that things can't happen for them. It's just a situation that we get into. And the reason why, and one of the reasons why we get into these situations is because at times in our life, our emotions take over. And when our emotions take over, we seem to make decisions that are very snap decisions, very much like on the you kick me, I kick you back type reality. So it's very difficult for us to make decisions. So what we have to do, friends, we have to sit back and we have to try and calm ourselves down and see how life is for us and trying to make a decision on the logic. Now, when we're emotional, which we're all prone to, we're also vulnerable, it's very difficult to make logical decisions, partly because we're on the wrong side of the brain, and another reason why we just don't feel that we've got the strength or got the courage. But friends, let's be fair now and understand that as spiritualists, we understand that our loved ones go on. And as much as they were there for us on the earth plane, they will be there for us in the spirit world, wanting us, loving us, and helping us. And although I accept, and we all accept the fact that spirit are there with us, we also have to understand is that we have free will, and that through that free will that we can make choices. But the problem with that is that unfortunately, a lot of the time the reality is that the choices that we have to make have to come from us. So we have to be able to gain the strength to make them decisions. And sometimes that's difficult. Sometimes we have to make decisions that things that are bothering us or bugging us or we feel bad about. And sometimes, friends, we have to just look at, say, we have to forgive. Not forgive because we're weak and we no longer fight, but forgive because it's a way of clearing our mind. We can all live and forgive. I'm not sure that we can forget. But even if we do forgive, at least we haven't got things hanging in our mind as baggage. And therefore we have a clearer mind and a clearer view. But also, friends, sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we're just not brave enough or bold enough, I've got the courage enough to be able to step forward. Or sometimes we need a little bit of help from the spirit world. And in that case, what we do, we ask spirit, and we think of someone who loved us on the earth plane, and we ask them to come down and help us. And we say that if we can't make these decisions or do these things, then do it for the spirit if we haven't got the courage to do it for ourselves. So there you go, friends. That's my talk and my reality that I offer to you. And I know that it's all difficult and hard. But with the faith that we've got and understanding we're never alone, then that will give us the belief and the faith in ourselves to go forward. So now I'm going to leave you with them words and say God bless. And I'm going to move off into the clairvoyant side of it. So thank you for listening and God bless. Okay. For those who've seen me before, they know the score. For those that haven't, it's yes, no, don't care, you're mad, you're off your head, you're not a medium. I say no, I'm a large. Please be aware that I do get it wrong, but I do know that my information is somewhere out there. If I get more than 3 no's for you, I will come looking for you on the internet. I will seek you out and you will be meeting your early demise. But don't think you're coming back to me, because I shall say, no, I don't know. Anyway, thank you again, and God bless you. Right. I'm very much of a lady that draws forward here. As I look at this lady, I'm round about the 5 foot mark. I would have had my hair done up, and it sort of looked darkish with some silvery stuff in it. But I see her in a black dress, and I see her looking very smart. She was the type of lady that would never take any messing about. She was straight to the point. I feel that there was connections with the East End, and there would be the name Billy would be connecting in with that, and also there's the name Joe. So could anybody understand that message? I feel with this lady that 59 would have had some relevance, or the age of 59. I'm looking for a lady. If a lady can understand this lady, that's what I'd be looking for. I'd be looking for this lady that this lady would have in her presence. She would have a wedding ring or an engagement type ring that would have been passed down. So that would have been held from the spirit world. Okay. Also, the name Christopher comes in with that. If anybody can understand any of this information, please just message me, tell me what you can understand. But I'm very much around the East End. I'm very much around Whitechapel, and Aldgate would have been very much in this situation as well. I felt that I would have gone to Aldgate. I felt that there, where I would have done some cleaning. So okay, Rachel, you sounds like your nan. God bless. and this lady, she as she comes close there, I felt that she's got a directness with her at the moment. I felt that she when she was saying something, that she would wag her finger and she would be very much straight talking at the moment. Okay. And as she comes very close to you, that's very much is what she's talking to you at the moment. She's telling me there's a situation going on around you where you need to do some straight talking. It's oh, God bless her. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, and she's kind of I would, and she's waving her finger at me. But although she's waving her finger at me, she's saying to me, "I told you so. I told you so." So there would have been very much a situation where she's talking about that, where she said, "I told you so." She's also talking to me about a separation. So there would have been a separation around this, and she's telling me that there would have been sort of like a broken marriage or divorce as well, because she was saying that there was 2 around this situation. Oh, good, lovely. And but she's saying very much now, and she's taking me to Southend with you, and she's giving me Southend. Yeah, she's also giving me a chest condition. So I want to go to her chest, and it's almost as if I'm coughing quite a bit. And it's quite debilitating in this cough. But I felt very much through my younger life with her. She was much a very straight, let's get up and do this type person. But I felt towards the end that she become very, very withdrawn. Okay, because she just showed me this this situation. But she's very much up and about now. She's talking about a dog. Talking about a dog to me as well. So there would have been a dog, and I'm looking at an Alsatian dog as well. And I was looking at the name Rex as having some relevance for the name of a dog. But but very much, she's around London Hospital as well. So she's showing me connections with London Hospital, and she's also giving me the name of a ward. But there's some connection with a tree. I can't quite. Chestnut tree. Oh, lovely. And she's also talking about a chestnut tree. So there would be some relevance, or chestnut ward. There would be some relevance to do with the hospital around a chestnut tree. But very much there for you at the moment. She's telling me that 2 years ago, oh, God bless. And she's telling me that the tree you planted would have been near a horse chestnut tree. Would you understand that? She's saying it wouldn't be too far from a conker tree. And she's laughing. She said, but this conker tree would have some relevance. But very much, she's taking me to a bracelet, not a bracelet, what around her neck, a necklace. She's showing me a necklace, but I felt this necklace would have been silver, and I felt that would have been passed down. But very much, she's taken me to her right foot as well. So I felt that towards her right foot there would have been some pain. Oh, you understand the tree connection. Good, thank you. So, and she's taken me to her right knee, and she said to me, but she's also telling me that there would have been a wheelchair around, but I don't think this wheelchair got used. So I felt the wheelchair would have been about just in case. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but she's very much about that. As she's saying, over the last 2 years, she said there's been very much change around you. She said around about 2.5 years ago, there was a major change in your life. And she said that since then it's been very up and down for you. Also a time of sort of standing back and listening to yourself and standing back for reflection. But she said, due to the cycle now, it's time for you to flourish because there's new opportunities. There's also been opportunities offered, which will be coming back again soon. So you'll find that there'll be more offers to go out. It'll be on a social evening, and this social evening will lead to different things, which will be quite exciting for you. So very much lovely things to look forward to. There's love and energy around you. She's just classing me a cup of tea before she goes, and I would be looking at at Yorkshire tea. So that would understand that connection. I'm going to leave this lady's love with you, and I'm going to say thank you and God bless. Lovely, thank you. Right, right. I'm moving on now. Just I've become very aware of a gentleman that draws quite close to me. As I look at this gentleman, I'm round about the. He's telling me that he's just about making the 5 foot. He would have been quite a smallish type guy, but very much laughter with this gentleman. All this gentleman was doing is laughing to me. He said he would have liked a pint, and he said he had connections in the East End. He's certainly taken me to Bow, but then I felt in his later life there would have been more connections out towards Essex, or there would have been Essex connections. The name Billy and the name Joe connects in. Oh, excuse me. He's telling me comes in with this connection. So he said, aye, I'm out and I'm about. I would like to have seen that. I would like to have had another pint before I passed over. But he's telling me as well that he one of his favourite foods would have been steak and kidney pie. So I would have liked a steak and kidney pie. He's also telling me the name Jack has some relevance around there. Can anybody understand this gentleman? I feel that he's also talking about a birthday, and Kathy would also be connected in. Although I feel Kathy could be around the person that I want to connect with rather than someone that he knows. He's telling me that he was married for quite a period of time, and his wife went over to the spirit world before him. He spent a little bit of time on his own, and he's also telling me he had a budgie that kept him company for the time. Can anybody understand this? Anybody understand this? This gentleman? Just before I go, he's talking to me about negs. So I would have been very much into racing. And I think Saturday morning also I would have been reading the Sun before I would have been reading the Sun. Okay? If that does anybody understand any of this information? If not, don't worry. Okay. I'm going to leave that gentleman there if nobody takes him at the moment, and we'll send him with his love and on his way. Okay. So as I link in here now, I've got another lady that comes through. As I look at this lady, I would have been around about the 5'6", 5'7" mark. I would have been around the 5'7" mark. I felt that I would have been sort of on the bigger side. So, sorry, I apologise for that. I would have been round about the 14 or 16 type mark. I would have had a rounded type face, and I would have wore glasses. I felt very much at the time that I would have been sitting in a chair, because she's very much taking me to my legs, and she's saying that her legs had ballooned. So she was sitting. She would be sitting down. Can anybody understand this information? She's also saying to me that the name that Ronald would be a connection there. So I'd want to say Ron, if anybody can understand that. Sarah, you say that it sounds like your nan. I felt with this lady that sounds like my nan. Oh, okay. So, oh gosh, you understand. So Deb's D, Candy, if you hang on to this message as well, and then we'll sort out what. She's telling me that she sat a lot towards the end. She would very much always be saying that her legs were on fire. So she's saying to me that this was very much what she was saying all the time. Very much sort of towards to do with her legs. And she's telling me that it was to do with water retention. She's also telling me that there would have been heart problems as well that would have caused all this type of situation. Good. So you can okay. And a fee. Oh, thank you, Sarah. God bless. So you can understand this lady. Yeah, she had heart problems. Lovely. Thank you very much. But she comes very close at the moment, and I'm just noticed with her, she's very quiet at the moment. So it's almost with this quietness, she just wants to come back on a settled, loving situation with you. It's almost as if she needs to say to you at the moment that she's there with you. She's saying to me that that's very important. She's also saying to me that there wasn't a lot said towards the end of her life. It's almost as if she became very quiet and very withdrawn. And she's bringing herself back in that nature at the moment and said that she just wants to send this love to you. She's also telling me that there's a baby over in the spirit world that's around you that she's been looking after. Okay. She's also talking about a gentleman that she's referring to over in the spirit world with her. And she's just giving me the feeling that that she's saying to me that he was very much like Arthur Lowe or Dad's Army. So, and she's laughing at that, and she's saying to me that there she had this lady, this gentleman connected with her. She said, and it was just, oh, it was Granddad. God bless, and she really makes that a nice thing. She's going to October with me, October the 15th. So there should be a relevant date on October the 15th, and then she's going to September the 21st. So she's just bringing these dates back for me, just to give you this kind of love and upliftment. She's saying to me that if she was to take you 10 years back, she said you would have had a major change. She would have had a major change in your life, she said. And over that 10 years, it's oh, lovely, thank you. Over the 10 years, it's been you fighting back at the moment. She's also telling me that there's thoughts around you of moving, and I want to say that there's just a little bit of unrest around you at the moment, because there's decisions that need to be made about your future and where you're going from here. Stepdad birthday. Oh, thank you very much for that. So it's very much about choices with you at the moment. I feel very much that there's a situation around you is very much, should I go or should I stay? So I felt that would be very much around a moving situation. Although also I do feel that there's movement around you, because I feel that people that had been close to you, that that had moved away. So very much a movement around you. Yeah. Changes with work. Okay, God bless. But I do feel that I have to stick in there with them changes at work. I do feel that there's a little bit of apprehension and there's a little bit uncertainty. And I feel there's not so much thought about that it's going to be for you. But if you just go along with the changes that have been made and just give to it, you'll find that it'll be a good change for you. Okay. Also, there'd be a connection in schools as well. So that I see children around there. So please look out for that. Yeah. So very much, but very much. and just before I go, there's a gentleman that just comes in that just wanted to get back into schoolwork. Ah, right. Well, just with that schoolwork, that will be coming. So that's very much in the pipeline for you. Okay. But just very much before I leave you, I've just got a gentleman that comes in that sticks his finger up, and he's just showing me that the tip of his finger was missing. If you can understand that, I felt it could be linked around your granddad. He's just showing me that there's a bit of a finger missing, and I feel it's just the tip. So I'm going to leave you now, Sarah, and I'm going to say thank you very much, and God bless, and good luck with your future. Okay, so I'm going to say God bless. Okay, as I'm moving on now, I've got a gentleman that draws quite close to me. I wouldn't have been overagedly when I went over to the spirit world. I felt that I would have been round about me 40s type mark. But very much with this gentleman, he's showing me, he's showing me John Travolta. So very much, I've got a gentleman here that's very much like, or would have been very much into dancing. He would have been very much into to the disco type craze. I felt height-wise that he would have been of the tallish nature, so he would have been round about this. He would have been 6 foot type mark, and this gentleman's just dancing around singing "Ha ha, staying alive." So at the moment, it would mean that I'm drawn to someone at the moment on the earth plane that perhaps he's not too well at the moment and he's suffering a little bit. But although I feel they're suffering a little bit, I feel that the worst has been through, and I feel that they're going into recovery type mode now, and that they would have had chemotherapy and the like. But I feel it's a good thing. I think that they're coming out of that situation now, and it's very much about getting their life together. That's the person I'm looking for online. I don't know if anybody can understand that. I've got the name Josie that links in with that. And as I'm talking there, I've also, with this John Travolta man, I've got a gentleman that draws close, that that I would have been of the smaller nature again, but I feel that I would have had a throat condition. So it would have been very much around my throat. So there would have been this condition that links in with this John Travolta type gentleman. I felt that he would have been like a brother. I felt that if he wasn't a brother, it would have been a brother-in-law. But very much in the 70s, having his heyday with Staying Alive and singing that type of record. But very much a memory. Also, the name Alice connects in somewhere with that. So if anybody can understand that, please pop up and say. If not, I'll have to put this. And the name Gary Richards I want. So I don't know if anybody can understand that name, but that's the name that I'm getting. Okay, I'm going to leave that person now, and I'm gonna move on. I'm going to say God bless, because nobody could understand. Right. As I'm moving on now, I feel I've got a lady draw quite close. As I look at this lady, I'm quite an elderly lady. I'd want to go into my 80s odd with this lady. I felt very much that I was frail as well. I like to keep my hair done, and I like to keep that all done good and proper. I spent a lot of time on my own, she's saying. So she's saying to me she spent a lot of time on her own. She's saying to me she would have lived in a type of maisonette type arrangement, and that she would have lived on her own. She's telling me that for a friendship she had a budgie. In fact, she had a couple of budgies. One would have been Snowy and would have been Joey. If they didn't have them together, they'd have it over that period of time. So that's what we got with this connection. Can anybody understand this? I'd want to say very much the name Richard as well. So I feel that that's coming forward. Can anybody understand this information? If not, we'll have to move on. And can anybody understand this before I let this person go? Okie doke. Right. Okay, I've just let that and said God bless to that spirit. I've just had a gentleman come through to me. I was very much I would have been about the 5'9", 5'8" type height. I would have been connected with construction, and I felt that I would have been very much connected with carpentry as well. So I feel that I'd had a garden shed, and I feel that I would have had a lot of tools in the garden shed. Okay, so very much if this man would have had tools in the garden shed. As I look at him, I've got a rounded type face. I've got hair, but not in the middle. I've got it round the outside, and I felt that very much a thing with him is that he would have been heavy breathing. So I noticed that he would have been breathing deeply. Now, he's taking me over to connections in Dagenham, so I felt that I would have been over in the Dagenham area. I felt that I would have been fairly close to a tube station, so that I didn't have far to walk to get to the tube station. And I felt very much the tube station was a lifeline for me for work. I felt very much that this gentleman would have liked his garden, and he would have been an all-round DIY type of gentleman as well. Can anybody understand any of this information? Also, I felt that there would have been dogs that would have been involved with this gentleman, and I felt that there would have been Alsatian dogs. So, okay. You understand most of the physical description, but not the location. Okay, thank you for that. For that, I understand most of that physical. Okay. With this gentleman, he's yes. Okay, lovely. So I was very much aware about the things coming with him, but very much I felt with this gentleman that I kind of right. Okay, so if Christine and Mariah, I hope I've pronounced that right. You I can't understand. Well, okay, and then just to try and separate the two of you that can understand that is, I feel that I'm with Christine as it goes, but will the other lady please hang on if they understand that. I also felt that with this gentleman that I can understand a lot except location. Okay, don't worry about the location. Just hold on to that for me. But as this gentleman comes around, it's almost as if he's talking about a lady on the earth plane, and he's telling me that there's a lady that's connected with you on the earth plane that's not that well at the moment and that needs healing, and that he's around that situation and giving healing. He's telling me also that over the last, if you want to go back about 10 years, there would have been a major change. There would have been a major change with you. And since that major change, it's been very much up and down for you, and for you fighting for your identity, I want to say, for your belief in yourself. And it's very much now that as you come into this time, there needed to be a time of reflection for you as well. And I felt that there would have been a period of time, at least a year time, where it almost appeared that nothing happened and you was in no man's land. Okay? But now it's very much a time for you now to start bringing yourself out. There's opportunities that are coming through for you. Okay. Also, I know I've given it before, but I want to connect with Southend with you. But also, I'd want to connect with Brighton with you as well. Okay, so there would be memories of Southend and of Brighton. But it's very much a chance of a time of choice with you at the moment, because there's like a crossroads that you feel you're at, and right, okay, no, right, okay. So you can't understand that. Okay, then don't worry about that. But it's very much time for you now to make decisions with new opportunities that are coming through to you. Also, as I'm speaking to you there would have been a gentleman that come through. Not to locations. Okay, sorry. Right, no problem. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'll go back. It was very much. I've lost where I was. Sorry. Go back 10 years with you for very much a time for you for change. So, but very much time for you now at the moment to make. And I feel there will be new people coming close to you, new friends around you at the moment. Yeah, I want to go to August the 15th for a birthday or an anniversary with you, and I'd want to go to September the 21st for you as well. So this gentleman's around you at the moment. Would you understand? Would you understand the fact of this gentleman having a fingertip missing? Because I can't let this go. I'm letting this weigh. I just keep, the gentleman keeps coming back with it. Okay, so this gentleman's showing me this. So also, I'm eating a hearty dinner as well. So I like me roast dinner. So this gentleman's very much talking about a roast dinner. But there would be a joke about this roast dinner, because he'd be asked if he wanted that. You'd have to do some research into this for me, please. But he was a stone diker, and his fingers were very rough. Okay, because yeah, he was very much showing me. Well, he's showing me his finger, but very much, and he's also he's telling me there's pictures around as well. So he's talking about specifically 2 pictures that would be up, and that he's looking at, that would bring back special memories. And you know, and he's just saying to me that he's proud of them. He said, and they would be there. He's saying, yeah, he's saying to me, go for it. And the answer to your question is yes. So I hope you understand that message. He's saying to me, yes, go for it at the moment. Yeah. And he's also talking about a house sale as well. Or if not a house sale, then someone feel they need to be moving on. So if you could hold on to that for me to see if you can understand that. I'm going to leave this. Okay. So I'm gonna leave you now, Christine, with that, and I'm gonna say thank you and God bless. Okay, right. Right, my father had a fingertip missing. Okay, I'm going to go back to this gentleman with the fingertip missing, because he just keeps coming back to me, and he keeps coming back to me. This gentleman, and I feel with this gentleman that it's very much that he's around you at the moment. Because it's almost just okay. Right, okay. It looks like I've got some other people coming. This gentleman with the fingertip. As I draw close to this this gentleman, I feel. And if Karen, if you can listen to this to see that I've got the right the right recipient. I feel that I'll be looking at a man. I'm looking about between 5'6" and 5'8". I feel that I'm a stocky type gentleman as well, but I feel he was persistent, as the word said. He said he was persistent, and I wanted to, and I see, John, that you've put up the word persistent, but I wanted to say persistent because he kept coming back to me through. He's been here quite a while, and he's kept coming back, so he's not letting things go. So, and as he draws very close to me, he says to me that he's so persistent because he needs right height and stocky. Correct. He says to me that he's coming back very close. Height and stocky. Thank you. He's coming back to me because he's saying to me is that, and he's showing me castles as well. So there would be connection with castles, but he's telling me to be. He's saying it's persistence because he wants you to be persistent at the moment. He said, because at the moment there's a situation going on around you where you need to be persistent. where you need to sort of sort out what's going on at the moment. You understand this? It's almost as if it's very, very blurry sort of time for you at the moment, and you're not really sure what's going on. And it's almost as if you've really got to stand up and be persistent and stake a claim. Okay. Because he's taking me, and yes, to the situation, but he's so adamant. He's so adamant. Now, he's also talking to me about he's talking to me about a walking stick, or it might even be a shillelagh. But he's telling me that it was never really used, but it was kept in a cupboard, and that it would have been kept from somebody, from a relative that had passed. So he's very much about this, talking about this walking stick or shillelagh, and I feel if it's of a smaller nature, which is quite strange, really, but it's of a smaller thing. He's also taken me to Scotland as well, so there would have been connections with Scotland as well. Okay, so this gentleman very much around you. Okay, and he's talking about a breathing situation as well. He's sort of, it's just showing me. He says it's difficult to breathe at the moment. So, but I do feel there's a situation on the earth plane around you that's close to you, where there's a breathing situation going on that's showing a little bit of concern at the moment. But I just feel that that's just part of sort of getting old and getting worn out. I'm not saying it's you, but I'm just saying this situation around you. So what he's doing is he's giving me this walking stick, and he's saying to me, thank you about the breathing concern. So so anyway, so he's just showing me that he's around. But just very quickly, I want to go back to the walking sticks, and I want to say that he's passing them on to you, because he's saying to me that that's like the support that he's giving me to give to you for the support of the situation that's going on around you at the moment, and that he will give you the help, but as he's saying, he must be persistent. Okie doke. So I'm going to leave that with you. Okie doke. If Karen, you said you sounds like a granddad. He had a tip of a finger missing and lived in Southend. Could you understand the fact that he would have had a shed? Because I felt that this gentleman had a shed, and I felt that he would have kept this. He would have kept this. Kept tools and stuff in this shed. So I'm just wondering if you could understand any of that. If you can, just sort of message me, and then it would be you that I'm coming to next. Okie doke. Right. Okay. He had a shed with tools in, yes. Good. He had a shed with tools in, yes. Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. And as I'm very much aware, as this. Okay, right. Spent a lot of time in his shed. It's quite funny, really, because he was talking about his shed, and he spent a lot of time in there. But Lisa, can you listen to this as well, because it also could be for make sure that there might be information for both of you. But he's giving me the name Rose as well, so that could even be connected with you, Karen, or I might be connecting him with Lisa. I'm not sure which one of you can take that. But he's showing me a lovely garden, very beautiful garden, and he's showing me that he was quite at home in this garden. But for some funny reason, he's not giving me the feeling that it was his garden. So though it's taking me to this garden, and it just. Oh, you can take Rose, his sister-in-law. Oh, good. Okay. Because he gave me. Okay. Right. Okay. So it looks like so sort of with this gentleman, it's almost as if that I need to say to you is that there's a situation round about 18 months ago that had a major change around you. And helped out others. Good. So it does. Right. So Karen can understand you. So I'll try and come back to you, Lisa Bennett, when I finish this one. Loved his garden and helped others, but it's just very much. He says to me that he's got this rose around him, but he's telling me that rose would have some relevance to you as well. It's almost as if he's saying when he's around that you can smell a rose, or there's a rose smell. We see there's something that's connected. Okay, thank you. I will come back to you. See, I feel this is for Lisa. Left a rose in his coffin. Okay, right. So, thanks for Karen. Okay, but with okay. So he's just making reference to them roses in the lounge, but it's almost, and he's talking about a lady that would have been very close to him, and that she would have used a perfume, and there would have been a rose connected within that perfume, either the name Rose. I've already give you that. No, the name Rose, or a perfume with a rose in it, or rose on it. And also just quickly as well. Right, okay. As I'm looking there, I see a eulogy there, and on the right hand bottom of the corner of the eulogy there would have been a rose. So this would have just been. Yes, you can take both. Thank you. But very much around you at the moment. But also, just before he leaves, he's talking about a situation where things should have been said that never got said. It's almost as if there's something should have been said, or something that needed to be sorted out, and there was never time. It almost if there was something happened very quick for you, and then it just, because I just felt that I felt a little bit, and just before he leaves, he's just telling me that he would have died twice. So there would have been a situation where he'd passed once. Good. And would you understand where he would have passed twice? So anyway, I'm going to leave his love with you, and I'm going to say God bless. I'm going to come back to Lisa. I was going to come back to you and talk about a gentleman that as I look at this gentleman, I felt that all I need to say is almost as if there's a period of time where I hadn't seen him for a little while, because I felt like wanting to say, Cor, you've lost weight. So there would be a situation where it would be said, yeah. So there would have been a situation around, okie doke, Lisa. Okay, you can understand that. It's almost as if as if this gentleman comes quite close to you at the moment. I'm very much about painting as well, and I'm sort of fighting for a bit of breath here because I'm having breathing problems. And I'm holding on to somebody's hand as well. I'm holding on to a lady's hand. And he's telling me that this lady was there during his passing and that he was very grateful of the passing, of her being there when he passed over. The name Julie links in with that as well. And the name Maria links in with that. So that's very much right. Okie doke. Your name. Okay. So so I want to say to you, April the 15th would be a relevant date to you, and October 9th would be a relevant date to you. So I would want to give you that, okay? And then just very quickly with you, I've just got another lady that comes pretty close to you. I would have felt she was an elderly lady. She would have been quite thin, and okay. I think I've most probably moved on there, Lisa. But just before I do, I've just got a lady that jumps in. As I look at this lady, I'd be round about the 5'4", 5'5" type of mark, and she's very much waving her finger at me. So I would take it that she could tell somebody off when she wanted to, and one of her traits was waving her finger. She and as she's waving her finger at you at the moment, and that it's done in quite a light way, because she's saying to me that you need to. Yeah, okay. She's telling me that you need to get a move on, if you understand that. She said you've spent the time procrastinating. There's things that need to be sorted out. And she said you need to get going with yourself and putting things in order, if that makes sense to you. She said also there's been cleaning. You've been doing some cleaning up and found different little bits, she said. Oh, good, you understand this. She said it's almost as over the last 18 months, she's telling me that it was been a bit of a downtime for you, she said, and you've not really been sure which way to go with things at the moment, and almost a little bit of a feeling of being alone without being rude. But there's things more opening up for you at the moment. Just the thing of being a little bit more positive. Okay, there's okay, yeah, okie doke. I understand that. I did feel that there was like that going on. Anyway, okay, that's fine. But the good news is that you have got the support now. But it is about putting your best foot forward and deciding where and what you want to do. It's almost as if there's, at the moment, it's very much a time for you to make decisions and decide what you want to do. It's just good, and that's pleased. But I still think, you say you've met somewhere. I still feel that there needs to be more plans sort of made, more things that bring closer and stuff. I'm not sure what it is I'm getting. I'm not being told, but there's just a more of a togetherness there, which I'm feeling. Okie doke. So that's fine. I'm glad you've met someone and that you're happy now. and there's more to find out about each other, and there's more happiness to come, and there's a little surprise in there. Good. Okay. That's good. I felt that it could be going that way, and that's lovely. Anyway, I wish you all the luck with that, and I say thank you and God bless, Lisa, and it's been a pleasure to speak to you tonight. So with that, I wish you all the luck in your marriage, your new married life, and I know it's going to be great, and I now understand why I need to say to be bringing you closer. That does make sense. So I'll say thank you and God bless. Okie doke. Right. Okay. I've got a lady here. I don't feel I was a very tall lady. I felt that I would have been laying in the bed or living upstairs in a room in a bed. The bedroom was dark because she liked it like this. She lived on her own, but she had visitors. But she was very much aware. She's showing me very much aware of living on her own, and that people would go and visit her, and that she'd always be very much aware of this light being out. I felt that there would have been a dog that would have been involved with this, and I felt the dog would have been just sitting under or laying under the bed, waiting for this situation. With that situation, I felt that the name Lillian connects in with this, and I felt that this lady very rarely got out of bed, and she just had very few people that used to visit her. I'm not so sure whether she was saying about her family or whether there was many people in the family, she's saying, but it's almost as if she was on her own. Okay. Lisa, can you understand this stuff? Could be my mum. Very much sort of with going back to this lady, Lisa, what I felt with her, I felt quite, yeah, oh, right. I felt quite withdrawn with this lady. It's almost as if, that's all really what I'd done was laid in bed. There would have been a period of time where 6 months would have been quite relevant. Yeah, 6 months would have been quite relevant to this lady. But it's almost as if I didn't feel with this lady that I've got here, she wasn't saying a lot. So she would have been very, very quiet. It's almost as if I just felt with her that I just felt quite alone in my thoughts and the way I am. So, I see. I understand. Okie doke. That makes sense. But it's almost as if she comes close now, and she was showing me that I was finding it sort of very difficult to speak to her in at the first, because it's almost as if she just wanted to lay there and she didn't really want to say anything. Yeah, I've been through all that myself, but okay, I understand it all now. Why? Yeah, got it. Makes sense. Okay, but it's just heartbreaking, isn't it? It's just heartbreaking. But as I just come to you. It could be for me. She slept most of the time in her bed downstairs, and her daughter owned a dog. Her daughter lived with her. Oh, right. Okay. So thanks for that. Could be me. Slept most of the time. And okay. So with Lisa, I'm just going to say it's very much a time for you now of reflection, and it's almost as if I need to be putting things in order. Okay, and when I say order, I mean just to sort of, it's almost as if I need to say that I feel close to you and I want to put you back on top. Okay, and the name there's a name there that links in with this, is the name Joyce. Okay, so it's almost as if I apologise for this. It's almost as if I've lost my train of thought as well. So it's come a bit too close. So I'm going to say thank you and God bless. Okie doke. Right. So Karen Crane, did you say her name, Ray? I'm not sure if I did. I can't recall a name, but if you can understand this information, because I think I've got a bit backtrack. This lady I want to come about would have been in an upstairs room as well. Oh, Lillian. Right. Okay. Yeah. So if I do apologise, I've got a bit lost with myself here because I've sort of gone off on one connection and kind of lost myself. I do apologise, but I want to come back to a lady that would have been in an upstairs. This lady would have definitely been upstairs. Care home upstairs. Oh, care home upstairs. Oh, I got it. Okay. Anyway, and also there's a ring that's on the earth plane as well. So if anybody can understand that, connected in with this. So I'm going to leave this connection, unfortunately, because I can't straighten it out in my mind. It's almost as if I've got this feeling of my mind being gone. So I'm going to say thank you and God bless. And I'm very much aware of a lady here that her mind did go blank, like I just gone blank, and she was okay. But I've got this lady here that my mind's just gone blank, and it's almost as if I'm talking and I just can't get me thoughts straight. But every so often she'd be prone to shouting. So and she would, when people visit her, she would shout out. You would shout out, "Who are you?" or "I don't know you. Get out of my house," and that type of situation. So this is the lady the condition I'm getting that sort of kind of got me lost. I don't know if anybody could understand that, but also I would have. Your mum did that, Lisa. Okay, God bless her. But I felt very, very much aware of this lady. And what happened, I lost my mind, unfortunately. I allowed that to happen. I do apologise. I shouldn't have let spirit take me to that degree. But but she's very much come back around you at the moment. because she wants to say to you that she's feeling fine now and that she's okay. And she also wants to sort of make an apology to you, or just say sort of sorry and just say thanks for being there, because she's saying to me at times it would have been quite difficult. It would have been quite difficult. Do you understand this? And she's saying is that, you know, she's all okay now. She says she wants to. There's a person on the earth plane that's worried about dementia themselves. That's worried that it runs in the family because they've been talking about it, and she wants to just say to the family in general, don't worry about it. She'll be okay. She's okay now. She'll be okay. So there's no need to worry about her. She's doing well now. She's feeling strong. Yeah, okay. She's also talking about her lips being wet as well. So it's almost as if I've got a tissue and I'm just putting water on her lips. Just putting water on her lips. Can you understand that? Can you just let me know, or just let me know whether I've moved on? Okie doke. Rightio. Okay. Right. Okie doke. Well, for wetting the lips, she was just saying thank you for that. And with that, I'm going to leave you and say God bless. Okay. I'm very much got a lady that well, I've got a gentleman as well first, and it would have been, I don't want to be rude, I don't know what the correct terminology is, but it would have been I think a smaller person. I can't think what the name. I don't want to be detrimental to anybody, but I felt it was just one of the old name from was dwarfs, but I don't know if that's the correct term. If I've got that wrong, I do apologise. I don't want to offend anybody, but I've got a little gentleman that would been like that. Very much a fiery type character. He wouldn't have let his size or his situation stop him in anything. He very much liked to drink. So, and he would have been very, very, very well known without the areas that he lived in. His nature was of quite a fiery type nature, so that he wouldn't have took no rubbish off anybody. Can anybody understand this, gentleman? But very much a man of going out and having fun. And he was very philosophical as well. He just accepted the way things were, and he just showing me that he was very much about that. He took life was for living, and that was his way. He's also telling me that there was a connection with gypsies as well, or travellers. So I feel that I would have been connected with travellers in some way. If I wasn't connected with travellers, I would have been living close to a travelling community, or I would have had traveller friends. So can anybody understand this information? He said the name George comes in with this. And there's a John that comes in with this. Can anybody understand this information? No. Okie doke. So we'll let this gentleman say, and we'll say God bless to him, and we'll send him on his way.
Actually, Ray, that brings us a little bit over time, but unless you had another one you wanted to do, we can go to Frank's cards next.
No, I think that I just got a yes on that. I just understood that from Dina, but I've kind of run out of a bit of steam now, you know.
Yeah.
So if you like, we'll go over to Frank. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Ray. We have gone a bit over the time than we normally do, so you gave us a bit extra there tonight, so thank you.
No problem.
We'll come back to you for a closing prayer after Frank's cards then, which is about 8
How
minutes.
long would that likely to be?
About 8 minutes, Ray.
About 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
See you then.
Bye.
All right, perfect. Well, good evening, friends. Thanks for staying with us tonight. Thank you to Ray for those extra messages there. I didn't want to interfere and disturb. But we have come to the time where we start to close down the service. And as our regulars will know, Frank from our church draws 3 animal cards each week. So this means everyone can take something home with them and an uplifting thought for the week ahead. So let's see what Frank has for us tonight.
Good evening. Our first crystal this evening is the amethyst, and with that is the card for the squirrel. The squirrel is about managing resources wisely and keeping things balanced. The squirrel asks you to be careful of living to excess. And ask yourself, am I spending too much? Or am I holding too much? Or you might be giving too much of yourself to others. You may even have built emotional walls around yourself, thus cutting yourself off from the rest of the world. Squirrels offer a message of balance, no matter whether the resource is financial or less tangible. Consider giving to those who are less fortunate than you. This could entail assistance to a charity, or it could mean giving your time. If you are spending freely, be careful that your debt balances and doesn't get out of control. Squirrels manage to strike the perfect balance between preparation and fun. They stock up for the winter, but also make sure they take only sufficient for themselves, so that there's some left for others. Whilst doing this, they will climb trees and seem to have a good time. They symbolise solid planning and resourcefulness, but urge you to play while you work. They also enjoy just resting for a while on a branch, which tells you it is important for you to find time for relaxation as well. And our second crystal is the citrine. With that goes the card for the owl. The owl is about wisdom and knowledge, intuition and insight, seeing what others can't, having foresight and planning and patience, and the power that comes from being still and listening to your inner voice. The owl says it's time for quiet contemplation rather than taking action. In fact, you will gain great clarity and insight by just sitting still and noticing what is going on around you and within you. The owl says it isn't necessary to express your thoughts right now. Instead, quietly meditate on what you already know and what you are currently learning. Trust the power of your intuition. Listen to the ideas of others, but keep your thoughts private Watch all that is happening in your environment and gather essential information. Soon it will be time to act, but for now it is time to rest in silence. What comes to mind when you think of an owl? Well, perhaps you imagine a great solemn bird who can see in the dark and sits patiently and soundlessly, waiting for his moment. This card asks for you to be owl-like in your way. Owls represent knowledge and wisdom, and both are extremely valuable, but they are not the same thing. Knowledge is just information, whilst wisdom indicates experience. Owls will wait for the perfect time, and only then will they take flight, when they see their prey. The owl has amazing night vision, penetrating the darkness to find the light of truth. The owl wants you to know that if you listen to your own inner voice and trust your intuition, you too will be able to see the truth clearly, just as he does. And the third card tonight is the rose quartz. With that goes the card for the Persian cat. The white Persian cat it's about acting with perfect timing and being careful to care for yourself. It's about having independence, but also flexibility to handle any situation. The cat says this is a great time to get things accomplished. You may have more than one thing to accomplish at once, but don't let that bother you. Assistance is always available if you need it, although you probably won't. Don't underestimate your ability to make your dreams come true. You can do it. This white Persian also represents a person who is able to do anything. She multitasks better than anyone else. Is full of confidence, is self-motivated, talented and charming. She is so well liked that people just naturally want to be with her. She is a bit strong-willed though, and likes to have things her own way. Cats have a well-earned reputation for being independent. They mark their territory carefully and defend it. They may devote up to half their waking hours, though, grooming themselves. Yet they can spring into action when the moment is right. Persians in particular need a lot of good grooming due to their long coat. And this fits well with the person who has chosen this card today, because you too are busy and work hard, and therefore it is important you are willing to spend time on your self-care. Perhaps now is the time to undertake something that is pampering and nurturing for yourself. 3 very good cards there with a lot of very good advice and a lot of good thoughts. Thank you for listening to me.
Lovely, thank you, Frank. All right, friends, let's bring the service to a close. We'll go back to Ray for a closing prayer, and then I'll play out the closing Vesper as usual. Thanks, Ray.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, good evening. God bless you, friends. Thank you for your responses and your messages, and hi to everybody. But as we close this evening and we walk into the coming days, weeks, months and years, please be aware that we're never alone. And if we find ourselves in a situation where we need to do something, but we haven't got the strength or the courage. Think of someone in the spirit world, and if you can't do it for yourself, do it for them. God bless you, friends, till we meet again. Amen.
Oh, there we go. A lovely evening there. A big thank you to Ray for taking tonight's service, for the address earlier and the messages. Thank you to our medium in church tonight. That was Lloyd Peckham. Hope you had a good evening in church, Lloyd. Thank you to Donna for chairing tonight. Thank you to Peter for the Bible reading. And thank you to Frank for the cards at the end there. Hope everyone has a great week ahead. And we will hopefully see you next Sunday at 6:30 again. But until then, good night and take care. God bless.